Hi, everyone. Typically, in a world issues class that I would be teaching in person, we would spend some time at the beginning of each class talking about what's happening in the world. So, I thought I'd just take a few moments today to highlight some things that have happened over the last month and are still very important in the news. First of all, would be the flooding in Pakistan. Pakistan is sandwiched in between India and Afghanistan, and it typically gets a lot of monsoon rains, but basically of biblical proportions this year. You can see here from the map, some areas received 24 inches of rain in a short period of time. And 24 inches, just to put that in perspective, is two rulers worth of rain. So there was just phenomenal amounts of Pakistan that suffered from flooding, and on top of that, the landslides in the steeper areas. And the thing that has come to the forefront is this question of compensation, in that uh, it's great for the international world to contribute to try and help out the people of Pakistan. But what's driving these epic rainfall events is climate change, and the Pakistani government is suggesting that there should be compensation for them because Pakistan contributes less than 1% to greenhouse gases, but they're suffering phenomenal amounts of damage from these um, unusual weather patterns that are going on these days. Next thing in the news is about North Korea. North Korea has been testing a lot of their ballistic missiles that could be armed with nuclear weapons. The thing that makes these test events a little bit different is that they fired them directly over top of Japan, which could be perceived as an act of war. There's been a lot of restraint on the South Korean and Japanese side, but nevertheless, this is quite concerning that they're testing these weapons over civilian airspaces and over civilian areas. Next would be in Iran. There has been protests going on for some time now. Uh, it got triggered by a woman who was arrested for, I believe, improperly wearing her hijab, which is a head covering. And uh, she was taken into custody, and in a very short period of time, she died. And the claims are is that she was beaten in prison, and this caused her death. And the Iranian government has not, you know, is not responsive to the people. So this triggered protests initially by women, but now it's sort of a more widespread protest against the Iranian government in general. They've tried to lock things down by shutting off the internet and social media, but the protests still are going quite strong, and you should tune in and especially use places like Al Jazeera. They have more local correspondence than, for instance, maybe a CNN, which probably doesn't have anybody on the ground in Iran. And then finally, there was a significant development in the war in Ukraine. The southern peninsula of Ukraine is called Crimea, and Russian troops there need to be supplied by this very long bridge. It's the longest bridge in Europe, and that bridge was attacked the other day and severely damaged, which will create a lot of supply issues for the Russian army trying to supply their southern troops. They still can bring supplies across this bridge, but nevertheless, there'll be a lot more beefed up security and slowing down of passage over the bridge. And I believe there was several sections of the bridge that actually collapsed for the roadway. I don't know how operable the railway system is. So anyway, I would encourage you to take a look around at some of the important things that are happening around the world. Please note the variety of news agencies that I've used. I've got BBC, Toronto Star, the Washington Post, and Al Jazeera. So try not to limit your viewing to just one particular news agency. Quite often they're missing important things that are happening around the world. So take a look around and check out some of those other news agencies.